This is Dan Dix here reporting for Press for Truth with what might very well be the most important video I've made of 2020 so far. As I'm sure you guys are already aware, the race for the vaccine for COVID-19 is on. But what you might not be aware of is the fact that, as we see here, Canada has just inked a contract for 37 million syringes. As we see here, they are anticipating the mass vaccination as Canada orders millions of syringes. Now, in case you guys didn't know, the current population of Canada right now is 37.5 million people, and they have just ordered, they're anticipating mass vaccinations by ordering millions of syringes. How many millions? 37 million syringes. And in this video, guys, we're going to take a look at this company right here who is being awarded the contract, Becton Dickinson. And we're going to show you exactly what they do not want you to know about, because if you have a good understanding of how they operate in the past, it's going to paint a pretty good picture of what we can expect in the very near future. So we're going to cover all that and more. But before we do, guys, please check us out here at GoFundMe.com. This is our campaign called PFT Demonetized. If I had $1 for every subscriber, we can make the MSM obsolete, and that indeed is the goal, guys. They are not going to be covering this type of information. They're going to be pushing the vaccines on you. If this is something you support in our efforts to combat this propaganda, please check the links on the screen or in the description below to find out how you guys can get involved. All right, so as I said, there is a race right now for the vaccine. There are a number of companies who are in the development stages, and it's yet to be determined who's going to come out on top, and we'll get back to that very soon. But before we do, let's take a quick look at this. Anticipating mass vaccinations, Canada orders millions of syringes. The federal government has begun procuring the supplies that will be essential for mass vaccinations in the event that a vaccine is found for COVID-19, starting with signing a contract for 37 million of these things. Well, let's take a look at who's gotten the contract. The federal government has reached a contract for 37 million syringes, which would be roughly enough for the entire population of Canada as it prepares for mass vaccinations against COVID-19. Public Service and Procurement Minister Anita Anand said that the contract was signed with the Canadian branch of Becton Dickinson, a global medical tech giant. All right, so if we look into them, here is their website, bd.com. And side note, guys, their logo is pretty interesting to say the least. It looks like an eye, it looks like a sun, it looks like a pyramid, all sorts of weird stuff going on there. But at any rate, here's their website. I'll put a link to it in the description below so you can check it out for yourself, because they explain who they are, but they're certainly not going to tell you the things that I was able to find out about this company moving forward. And we're going to start with this. This is an article that I found from 2007. It was originally in Polish, and I had to translate it to English. And it says here, thousands of contaminated syringes in hospitals. We see hundreds of thousands of contaminated syringes went to Polish hospitals, the diary established. They were dirty with insect residuals and black dust. Such impurities can cause sepsis and lead to death of the patient. It is not yet known if anyone suffered from this. If the patient got an intravenous injection with such a syringe, he could die, said Professor Zbigniew Wrzelik, director of the National Medicine Institute. The syringes must be sterile. There must be no contamination in them, he explains. BD discarded 2 syringes from the defective this number batch of series, went to at least 150 recipients in Poland. It is only today, after the journal's questions, that the Drug Registration Office announced that the manufacturer of the disposable syringes, Becton Dickinson, will withdraw them from the hospitals. Suspicious impurities inside the syringe was noticed by a nurse from the ophthalmology ward of the hospital in Radom as early as 2006. As it turned out, there are more Sage syringes. At first, I thought it was just a syringe marking paint, says Marenza Barwica, the head of the Public Procurement and Supply Department of Radom Hospitals. We returned the majority to the distributor and the few we forwarded to the prosecutor's office for examination. But get a load of this, guys. The opinion of experts consulted by the prosecutor's office was issued only after more than half of a year. It is striking. Fragments of insects and dust have been found, and a lack of sterility. During this time, however, no one came up with the idea to notify pharmaceutical supervision and other hospitals. Neither the manufacturer, nor the distributor, nor the prosecutor's office, nor the Radom Hospital did that. The latter gave tens of thousands of syringes to the distributor. As diary established, these are the batches series that were contaminated. These are the suspicions that other series may also be contaminated. Guys, so Becton Dickinson was busted back in 2007 for having dirty, contaminated syringes that they knew about and still pushed out thousands and thousands of these things, even though they could cause potential death. Now, if that wasn't bad enough, get a load of this, what I found from the Food and Drug Administration, guys. Look at this. Medical device recalls. We go through the list and, oh, what company name pops up here? BD. Syringes. They had a medical recall on syringes. So I started digging into it. I found this from the Workers' Compensation Watch.com, which led me to this link here, recent news release. I go over to there, and it's the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, where the OSHA finds dozens of violations at where? Becton Dickinson and Company. In Holdridge, after 2 workers suffer finger amputations. Global Medical Technology cited for machine hazards twice since 2015. After 2 workers suffered partial amputations of their index fingers in separate incidences in 2015, federal investigators found numerous machines lacked safety guards at the Holdridge facility of Becton Dickinson and Company, a global medical technology company. On April 11th, the U.S. Department of Labor's Occupational Safety and Health Administration cited the company, widely known as BD, for 1 repeat and 12 serious safety violations related to the injuries on October 14th and October 22nd, and other hazards found. OSHA previously cited BD for machine hazards at the same facility in April and September of 2015. The agency has proposed penalties of $112,000. This company is literally being fined by the Occupational Safety and Health Administration for malpractice. They've had to recall, as we see here, according to the Food and Drug Administration, dirty syringes. We have this expose coming out of Poland about dirty syringes that could be potentially killing people. And this is the company that the Canadian government is signing to do the mass vaccination program with. 37 million syringes have been ordered from these guys right here. Guys, something about that is very, very wrong. And as we know, there is a race right now for the vaccines. BD is producing the syringes, potentially contaminated, dirty syringes, but there's still a race on for the vaccine. And I've been covering since the very beginning all of this stuff, guys. Look at this video that I put out in January of 2020. January of 2020, I put this out. Breaking: CEPI, founded by Gates, grants Innovo $9 million to develop vaccine against coronavirus. And as we see here in the video, I have it paused where I found this. Innovo's stock was up a shocking 10% at the time, bringing them all the way up to $4 US. Well, folks, today I took a look at Innovo Pharmaceutical Inc. stock, and it is up to a whopping $12. It had a previous close of $14. That is an incredible exponential growth. So this company right here is one I'm going to be keeping an eye on moving forward as these Gates-funded projects continue to get the contracts. And I hope I was able to do a good job exposing these guys right here, BD, Becton Dickinson, for their malpractice, for all the issues they've had in the past. Because look, if these are the guys we're going to be signing contracts with moving forward, maybe we ought to understand their history before we delve into a multi-million-dollar contract where they're anticipating mass vaccinations against the Canadian people, guys. Once again, 37 million syringes we're talking about. That's one for just about every single person here in Canada, folks. Please share this video. Click the thumbs up button. Get the word out right now that they're making the move towards mass vaccinations here in Canada, and they're signing contracts with companies that can't be trusted. Please get this information out. Once again, if you appreciate my efforts to bring you this information, please click that thumbs up button, share this video. Don't forget to check the links on the screen or in the description below to find out how you can support our efforts here. Clicking, sharing is great, but we also need your financial support too. So if that is something you can do, check the links on the screen or in the description below to find out how you can do that. And that's all for today, my friends. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned. We're going to have more video reports coming soon. This is Dan Dix reporting for Press for Truth. We all want truth. The truth will set you free.